What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Hydro Hybrid Vertical Shelf Garden. What a fantastic kit that we got the opportunity to run this year, this whole summer. We actually had a lot of fun with this kit. We set this kit up at the beginning of the summer, and you're right before the beginning of the summer, right before the kids got out of school. We've been running it all summer. The kids have kind of learned a lot from it, about vegetables, about lighting schedules, about nutrients and food. Not so much, they never touched nutrients. I didn't let them do any of that, but they understand that plants need food too, just like people need food, and plants actually feed people. So, we were able to make some salads and grow our own vegetables here. The kids had a lot of fun with it, so it was a good experience for them and myself at the same time. I wanted to kind of keep going with this with vegetables, but I was kind of curious to hear you guys' voices as well and get some, your personal opinions directly. So last week I threw up a vote on the channel, asking what you guys wanted to see. You guys want to see more vegetables and what this thing can produce moving forward, or do you want to see cannabis growing in it? Either way, it doesn't really matter what you're looking to do. If you're looking to grow vegetables or you're looking to grow cannabis, this tent and this entire kit, this entire setup is very well thought out for like the most practical, because it doesn't take up a room. This tent is like, here, they kind of give you a better visual. This tent fits in the corner of my office. Basically, I got a 5-gallon bucket here that's a reservoir. It circulates water to the hydroponic system that I did build on the channel. I built 4. I don't think I actually covered the build, but I have done things like this in the past, and it's pretty self-explanatory. If you guys want to know all the particular details with this system and you want me to kind of cover that in another video, specific video, I'll do that. Just drop the comments in the box and let me know. If I get enough people that want to see this, me talk and show exactly how I do this on camera, I'll do that. But again, if you want to see, other things like this that have been designed and built on the channel, you just have to click back through those videos. I've done this several years ago on a much larger scale. So this system is designed to be the most practical, most minimalistic functioning system. Like I said, for $448, or at the time of this video in a house, for under $450, you get the tent, the lights, the controllers, the fans, the trays, your vortex style fans. You get the control modules where you can control your humidity and temperatures and alarms. It's it's endless. It's really endless, the possibilities that this thing can deliver. You can grow anything you want in it. So, I asked you what you guys wanted to see grown in the tent. And an overwhelming number, I thought it was going to be like a 50-50 split, but no, it definitely was an 83-17. 83% of the people voted to see, what I could do with this particular vertical grow system in a cannabis, fashion. And I don't expect anything less than it to be magical, to be honest with you. Because you guys have seen me grow so many times. Cannabis. I'm always doing that because that's what I love doing ultimately. I just love growing ultimately. And it doesn't really matter what I grow. It could be cannabis, it could be vegetables. And although this was a first indoor vegetable system for me, it was a great experience, and I did learn a lot from it. My kids learned a lot from it. Together, we learned a lot. So, being able to share those things, that information, and those moments together is invaluable in itself. And if you're looking to kind of build on that with your family and your kids, this is something that, something to look forward to, look into it. I'll leave a link here in the description, and I'll throw a screenshot right here. And that's the kit available on spiderfarmer.com. So don't forget, if you use the code, you get a discount on your purchase there. So, moving forward, I really wanted to kind of push it with the vegetables I had a lot of fun. I did harvest a couple stalks of the romaine, but I stopped there, and we did harvest one live on the channel, and I ever since I've just been letting it go. So this is the one that I did cut down, and guess what? They grow back, guys. They do grow back, but they grow back funny. It actually didn't. The leaves that I cut off didn't grow back. In the center of the stalk that I harvest, it started to grow a new, basically an entire new shoot of leaves, but they were kind of deformed, and they turned into this. Yes, if you're gonna have that mentality of I want my lettuce fresh, and you're gonna harvest it at that point, whenever you need it, you can come walk over to this thing and harvest it, right? And you don't ever have to actually cut the entire stalk of lettuce. You can just kind of do what you see right here. This thing is like really tall, guys. It's kind of gotten out of control. Not kind of, it's definitely gotten out of control. Kind of unwind that there. Look at this thing. This is one head of romaine lettuce that I've been picking at, you know, but you could see how it kind of grew back. It grew back all cattywampus and awkward. It's not really, honestly, it only took about 3 or 4 days, less than 5 days, for those seeds to be like bam. And it takes, I know the bag said 68 days for the lettuce, but I had they were like smaller. They looked mature, but the overall size looked on the smaller side. So, you know, I did let a couple of these go just to see what we would get for the whole 68 days. And we're about that right now. This is what I got, you know. In my honest opinion, these heads of lettuce are, I don't know, right around 35 days. About a month, they were perfect to harvest the whole head of lettuce. So just, you know, the experimental side of me was kind of just harvesting a couple and then playing around, letting these things go, just trying to get an overall consensus and a good foundation of what to expect and where to go, like, you know, if I was going to continue growing vegetables. So if you're growing a lettuce, it's just good to just cut them down when they're ready, you know, yay high. I just plugged in this second light over here, and you know, to be honest, it was doing much better with just the one LED for vegetables anyhow. When we're running cannabis, and here we're going to be doing it different. All of these are going to be lit up. You can see on the top, I'm only running 1 bar, and look at all the vegetative growth that happened from the 1 bar. And these things are 40 watts, guys. 40 watts, right there. So 2 of these bars is 80 watts, you know. So 2 times 80 is 160. You know, I think my expectations moving is going to be 2 grams per watt initially. We'll see what we end up with. I will be using two lights per tray with, you know, cannabis moving forward. You guys called it. 83% of you wanted to see cannabis and 17% of you wanted to see vegetables. I was expecting it to be more of an equal thing, 50-50. Now, see, I've done so many cannabis grows. I was expecting everybody to want to see more vegetables, and I was going to show microgreens. And the reason I say microgreens is because I was doing some research, and actually the microgreens are valuable. So we do our grocery shopping at Whole Foods downtown in the district. So when I go down there, sometimes I get these shots of wheatgrass and other microgreens. They're kind of pressed, and they extract the juices, and basically 1 shot of microgreen juice is equivalent to like 5 pounds of vegetable nutrition and vitamins, and, you know, the whole package. 5 pounds, 1 shot. Seriously, a shot glass is equivalent to 5 pounds of vegetable nutrients. That's how they market it. They market that and they sell it. I'm not sure how true it is. I've never read any information, you know, medical information. So don't hold me to that, but that's how they market it. So I'm assuming because it's Whole Foods and it's owned by Amazon that, they at least have that research covered. So, but then again, it's Amazon or Whole Foods. And those shots are they're like $3 or $4. They're not cheap. So, and I was watching it. So it got me to thinking about microgreens and wheatgrass. So I started doing the research on what it takes, which brought me to the system here, this vertical shelf garden. I was going to move forward with actual microgreens, and we were going to talk about that in the future. And maybe if that's something you guys want to see in the future, please let me know. Whatever your thoughts are, doesn't matter if I'm talking about it or not in this video. If you guys want to see microgreens grown in the future after we grow cannabis in this tent, let me know. I'll do that as well. But right now, I have an overwhelming number of people that 70 or 83% of people that want to see cannabis grown in this tent. And in order for me to do that, I have to really kind of take myself out of the normal that you guys are used to me doing. We're gonna have to start on a smaller scale. We're gonna have to start from clone. It's not gonna be taking a clone and growing this clone, vegging this clone into a giant plant, a giant, just a giant alienish plant to grow inside. We were growing on a shelf, multi-tiered shelf. So essentially you could have a harvest every 5 weeks. So yeah, roughly every 5 weeks, if you break it down, 5, 5, and 5, you'd have basically a perpetual harvest within this tent. You could harvest every 3 weeks. Every 3 weeks you could be having a harvest. So if you were to take a group of clones and cuts, you could put them right here. 3 weeks later, go to your mother's. When you put these in flower here, you're flowering from clone. We're gonna do all this in camera. I'm gonna show you how to do it all on camera. And not only that, I don't want to talk about it too much. I don't want this video to become too lengthy. That's not what this video is about. We'll cover all that information in a future video, covering this series. But because everybody's been asking me to go back to hydroponics, guys, I can't reiterate it enough. The cocoa is hydroponics. I know it's not all the gadgetry and stuff involved, and it doesn't look cool. It's not like, opening an engine and seeing all the cool internal parts. It just basically, it's very, very basic and, minimalistic, and it works. It works really, really good. It works so well, I really don't want to go back to hydroponics. Once you've been through this whole cycle of, I'm going to buy everything in the world and we're going to have a $1 million grow room, and then you live that way or you grow that way for 10, 20 years, and for whatever in life forces you to go a different direction because you're trying to go smaller and have multiple smaller rooms, then you kind of need to be more versatile than having a stationary hydroponic system. You need to be able to move things around. So that's the reason I went cocoa. But we have a hydroponic system right here. So we're going to run, I'll say it in this video, we're going to run 3 different styles of hydroponics. I'm not going to grow dirt indoors. I personally don't believe in growing dirt indoors. If you bring dirt and organic material inside your house, you are asking for a problem. You're going to have bugs, you're going to have gnats, you're going to have outdoor, basically you're setting yourself up to harvest and harbor, pests from outdoor to the indoor garden. So knowing this and knowing that we're growing indoor, and it's a synthetic style of growing anyway, because we're not using the sun, we're not using the elements of Mother Nature outside, we're bringing all this stuff inside, and you yourself are applying everything these plants needs when it comes to nutrients, food, light, water, air, and all that stuff. You're God. So in that sense, you don't believe in bringing dirt indoors. And if you disagree, that's okay. I say it all the time. There's no one style, not one style to growing. There's no one correct way. What I do works really, really well for me because I've perfected it over the years. Over the last 20 years, I've perfected exactly what I'm doing right now. So what I do specifically and how I do it and my approach and my logic and my theories work for me. It works for my head, my brain. So I really try and translate that across the board for everybody so everybody understands what I mean and how I can help set you guys up for success moving forward, and future grows I want everybody to succeed. I don't want to see anybody fail. But I will say this, 85% of people that even attempt growing, that just attempt it. So 85 out of 100 people, they fail. They absolutely fail. They might, get a couple buds, but ultimately not everybody has the mental capacity or the motivation or drive or, it's not their primary goal in life is to grow their own cannabis. And I get it. That's okay. Not everybody's meant to be a doctor. Not everybody's meant to be a gardener or a mechanic. Everybody has their own little niches in life. So, but knowing that, with all the consultations that I do, only 15% of 15 out of 100 people that I will ever consult are actually okay at it. What I mean is by okay is they're able to kick off a grow and get by, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's worth all of their investment and efforts. I would say only 5 out of 100 people are actually any good at this, get good at this. And those are the numbers that I've come to, calculate over the years. There have been instances where people will get involved in growing, and it's just like almost like a bucket list type thing. They're middle age. They come from the era of weed being strictly illegal everywhere across the board. It's this mystique thing that somebody just wants to do once in their life. It's not really a money thing. They have money. They could purchase it, but they want to do it themselves. They want to see what they're capable of. I've seen this. I've helped these people set up gardens. They'll throw thousands of dollars at equipment. By the way, this whole tent is under this. All this equipment you see here is under $50 or $450. They'll throw thousands of dollars at hydroponic equipment, fans, and the whole setup, the whole room. They'll kick out a grow, maybe two, and it's almost like they've scratched their itch their whole life, and they just walk away from it. And they were actually decent at it. But, again, I get it. It's like a bucket list type thing. It's like you want to see one of the 7 wonders of the world. You want to see the Northern Lights. Everybody wants to go see, special waterfalls and rivers and stuff. Whatever, the pyramids, pyramids of Giza. So you know what I mean? But it's just one of those things that some people want to experience in life. They want to grow and harvest and, because they enjoy smoking, but not necessarily growing. But when they're finished, they're like, oh my God, that was so much work. I don't know how you guys do it. And then at that point, they appreciate what the grower does. Because from start to finish, from just a clone, guys, it's 120 days, minimum 120 days from clone to a finished product. If you're growing a bigger plant, obviously if you're flowering from clone, it's going to be more about like 75 days, roughly about 75, 80 days. I'd say about 80 days would be a good round number, flowering from clone, because you do have to take into account harvesting, curing and drying, and minimal veg times and stuff like that. So anyway, that's what's going on, guys. We're going to do 3 different styles of hydroponics here. So I'm just going to kind of shut that down. This allows me a good opportunity to kind of shut that whole thing down. I think you guys are going to be blown away and amazed by the results that we're going to achieve in this tent. And I'm going to do 3 different styles of hydroponic indoor gardening. I'm going to do cocoa right here. I'm going to do hydroponics right here. I'm going to do, I don't even know what I'm going to do down there on this. I haven't really thought about it that far. What would be another, you let me know what would be one of the most popular third choices for hydroponics. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's rock wool. So we could do rock wool right here. I could do rock wool mats. I could do 8-inch cubes or probably 4-inch cubes or 6-inch cubes right here. and just load this tray up and put like a fiber mat on the bottom, and actually kind of go to town when it comes to growing in rock wool and the techniques, you know, when you do approach that style of growing. I have never done it on the channel, I don't believe, maybe once. But you're going to be able to see all of them back to back. Boom, boom. Cocoa, basically recirculating DWC hydroponic system. It's a different approach to it, but essentially it's the same thing. And then down here, I'm going to go out and say rock wool is probably one of the most popular choices, you know, amongst these three. So, all right, guys, if you guys got any comments that you want to, whatever, personal input, drop it in the box. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys stay blessed. Peace. Hydro. Woo! Boom.